boxing fans here with Jamie Moore. Anthony Joshua out in America looking for a new training team. We're hearing that he's talking to Virgil Hunter, Derek James, trainer to Errol Spence and Charlos. What do you make of Anthony Joshua going to the States now to look for another trainer?
I think if he feels like he needs to do it, he's going to go and do that. I don't think he needs to, but that's just my opinion, because AJ's got so much experience. He's an absolute boxing anorak, lives for the sport, and I think he needs to now utilise that experience what he's got and sort of. I think the missing piece of the puzzle is the part from where he's got the experience to actually using it in the ring without thinking about it. It has to flow. It has to become second nature, because if you're in the ring thinking about doing something, you've already missed your opportunity. It has to be reactive and responsive. So if he needs to get a trainer or find a trainer who he can relate to, who he can gel with, who will allow his experience to come out of him and flow freely rather than it being too structured. Because I think if he thinks about it too long, he waits and waits and waits and then misses his opportunity. So I think he needs to sort of throw it back to the beginning, where he just goes, yeah. So instinctively that knowledge can't leave his mind. Yet he'll just go back to that sort of raw, ruthless killer what he was before, and we all want that. We all miss that out of him, and I think we'd all love to see that. So I think he needs to find that coach who he can have a good relationship with him, where they allow him to express himself and be himself, rather than sort of try to make him a robot.
Going off what you're saying then is that, does Anthony Joshua need a warm-up fight, in the sense that if he's going to gel with this trainer that he pairs up with, and we get to see a little bit of that older Joshua that you're talking about, he probably needs a fight or two before?
I think that's fair to say. I don't think, he's been on such a big stage for so long, and other fighters, look at Fury, when he had that 3-year gap when he came back, he sort of was allowed a warm-up fight or two. Let's give him a break. You know what I mean? He's been under a lot of pressure for a long time, and for many reasons, British boxing's in the state it is because of him. So a lot of people like to kick him while he's down and criticise him. He's been phenomenally good for British boxing. So let's give him a break. Give him a 10-rounder against a lesser opposition. So to give him that time and opportunity to gel with a new trainer and build that bit of confidence, because that type of relationship doesn't come overnight. It doesn't come in a 8-10 weeks of training camp. It takes 5-6 months to grow properly. So
actually, I spoke to Buddy McGirt, and he said ideally what would be ideal for a fighter is, he goes, the first week with the trainer, sometimes the chemistry is so great, you're straight away, you're like, okay, you're my new trainer. But he goes that sometimes they might need to spend 2-3 weeks with a trainer, because you get to see the obstacles and how a trainer deals with obstacles. Is that the correct way that a fighter should look at it?
Look, so for instance, Carl Frampton, when he came to us the second day, he just said, listen, I know, I feel he feels right. I think it was because Nige debagged him, and he sort of just knew there and then that was it. But you do, I knew it with Oliver. You just know it's the right. I mean, you can feel it. You got to go with your gut instinct, and I think probably that is good advice for AJ. He thinks about stuff that much. He analyses stuff that much. Just go with your gut. Go what feels right. You know what I mean? And I'm sure it'll work out for him.
Cool. I've got 3 fights I want to get your prediction on, and then we'll let you go. Fury Usyk, how does that one play out?
I think Fury. I think they're both unbelievably talented in terms of the skill set. I just think a good big and always beats a good little one.
Chris Eubank Jr. versus Liam Smith, early January.
Yeah.
How does that one play out?
I think Liam Smith gets to him in about 9 or 10 rounds.
Okay. Final one that's exciting all of us over here is Tank. Gervonta Tank Davis versus Ryan Garcia. It's not been announced officially for that fight to happen. They've got an interim fight in between. But providing that fight happens, what happens?
It's a phenomenal fight. It's a really, really good fight, and I think Garcia's got such a big size advantage over Tank. But Tank punches so hard. It's such a hard fight to pick. Oh God. I'm going to go Tank by knockout. Only reason being, I just think Garcia's. You've seen him hurt. Campbell had him down, and there's been that little bit of vulnerability there from not really seeing it with Tank. So I'm going to go Tank by stoppage. But what a fight that is!